Hi, everyone, and welcome to another weekly segment of the Circle of Divine Light Magical Lecture Series. I want to welcome you back if you've been following along, and I hope that you are enjoying the series. My name is Bernard Alvarez. If this is your first video, I would encourage you to go back to the beginning of this particular series. I believe this might be class 6 already. Anyway, we have been covering a lot of different topics that are leading up to the next class and the next class and the next class. Everything is done in chronological order for a reason, because we're trying to build up on our practice, our understanding, our knowledge, and our experience. So what we're going to be doing today, I know that we have 2 more elements left, and we're going to be doing those next week, because the whole idea of working with elements and the characteristics of elements in personal practice, and that's just basically what the series is all about, is personal practice and personal spirituality, and really, not emphasizing, but doing the best or aligning with the best of what we can learn from other people and then applying it for our own personal use. And I'm hoping that this is what this particular series is doing for you. So today we're going to be talking about the magical circle, and I know a lot of you probably have heard of it, or some of you have actually practiced it or have done it in a religious ceremony, quote unquote, but I'm going to show you today more of an energetic version of that. But before I get started doing that and explaining the dynamics, and then we'll go ahead and do a practice, I wanted to really emphasize something that was brought to my attention just by, surfing the web or whatnot. Words, okay? And the reason why I'm saying that names would be a better term. A lot of people, especially in the light worker truth movement, have this phobia of any other name besides Jesus or God or Goddess. I'm just leaving it as generic as that. I even had someone write me once, tell me that Aum is an evil demon, and I shouldn't chant the word Aum, which I find absolutely ridiculous. But on the other side of that coin is there are very negative entities associated with certain names. And what I'd like to do today is just ask you to be very vigilant as you start exploring your personal spirituality, as you start experimenting with different methods and techniques. You'll notice I don't really like to use a lot of names, so I'm going to keep it very general during the series. But if I do, I will always give you the background of the association of that particular name, kind of like what we're doing with the classical elements. So please, if you are, let's say you're getting involved right now in a magical circle, or you're getting involved in a healing group or something like that, and they start chanting a name, or they're calling upon a particular entity or something that you don't know who it is, what it is, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't just go with the flow. Don't just go with the crowd because you're at a public ceremony or a public healing circle or something like that. If you don't know that name, first of all, it is disrespectful of the leader of that particular ceremony or exercise to be expecting you just to jump in and chant I don't know, a Nordic god or goddess or some kind of Babylonian demon for all you know. I mean, really, just be very critical in your thinking and your approach. I just wanted to bring this up because a lot of times we get so excited, and the next thing you know, we're chanting things that we've never heard of. And the reason why I thought of it is because I have done this mistake myself, and it does bring certain energies into your world that sometimes you won't be able to get rid of sometimes for years. So please, again, this is about personal spirituality and what works for you. And I try to take it from the standpoint of the individual, though we are connected to everyone and everything on an energetic level, as an individual entity that we are, an individual consciousness, that we must be aware of what we're drawing into our etheric field or our spiritual realm, so to speak. There is a wonderful book that I was reading 10, 20 years ago called The Witch's God or The Witch's Goddess. There are two of them, which are really good. And there's a chant in there where they go, Echo, Echo, Azarak, or Echo, Echo, Laranalak, or I mean, just weird words. I don't know if they were just, silly names that they brought up because they rhymed, or if they actually were particular entities. I'm just saying, looking back now, now that I know better, I would never call something I have no idea about. That brings me to another topic, and again, I guess this beginning part, because now we're going to get into the meat of our personal practice and with energy and creating a sacred space today, and within that sacred space, you want to keep it very neutral, clear, of any external influence other than that which you bring in. So what I'd like to say, I have noticed that there's a certain group out there that is, from what I understand, a light working group. I'm not going to mention any names, but they are working with demons. And I don't understand that. And I understand that everyone has different ideas of what a demon is or a daemon is or this and that. But I just want to point out that Aleister Crowley, who is a very well-known occultist and spiritualist and whatnot, and is probably one of the greatest writers in a particular field of the 20th century, probably was very much a genius, but he made the mistake of thinking that he could go into the demonic realm and turn the demons into good guys. Okay, and first of all, you don't want to impose your will on anybody, good or bad. So right there, I have an ethical problem with that. You know what? That's their nature. Keep to your own dimension and whatnot. Fine. Go along, leave me alone. But also, the whole idea of something like that is it's convoluted. And of course, the man was on drugs and did a lot of things. By the way, this is what gave him such a negative reputation in the end. Because he was doing some great work there for a little while, but what he did was that he created this elaborate ceremony, and I believe it was off of Loch Ness. You can all research this; it's all over the whole history of what he did there. That house that Jimmy Page died, John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. It had, the guy Jimmy Page bought the house, but that was the house off of Loch Ness. And he did this elaborate ceremony conjuring all these demons, and he was going to bring them over to the light, so to speak. But something happened, and he left the portal open. And a lot of very nasty things started happening in that home and within his own life. I mean, we all know he died a penniless drug addict and hated by the world, and still hated by many occultists. Again, I think he did some great work. I would not do Thelema. I don't agree with the vibration, because now it has a vibration associated with that. It's nothing that I want to be a part of. Will I read his books? Of course I'll read his books. Learning is learning. But applying the work of any kind of demonology or invoking anything like that, please, I'm just begging you, don't do anything silly like that. You don't know what you're going to get involved with. I have made that mistake. I have been lucky enough to get rid of the entity that was bothering me throughout my 30s. I'm 43 now, so I had a good 10 years of craziness. Anyway, what I'd like to say, so that's that. Anyway, we're going to start talking about the magical circle today. Now, a lot of people are like, well, what is this magical circle? Is it that ritual where they put the salt in a circle and this and that? I am going to do something, I'm going to explain it to you today on an energetic way. A lot of us in the past, for myself, did it for religious purposes when I was involved in the whole pagan community and whatnot. And, it's basically, in that particular way, it is done symbolically. But today, I'm going to show you how to do it transdimensionally, which is, I feel, if you're working alone, it's probably the best way to apply this particular information. So all it really is, it's not a circle at all, actually. And I'm going to get up on the board in a second after I get on my roll here. It's really a sphere. And what you're doing is you're doing a cross-section of, you know, an upside-down dome underneath your feet and then a dome on top of you. And that is going to create your safety area or your temple for the day, your sacred space. And that's what it is. It's creating sacred space. And why would you want to do that? You know, well, for many reasons. If you're going to be doing like a channeling or anything like that, you want to be in a protected environment. If you're going to be doing any kind of deep, you know, out of body or a deep contemplative meditation or anything like that, it's always good to create a sacred space. Not only to keep the negative vibration away, but just to prepare the mind. I think it's very, again, it builds up the momentum of the energy of the work you're about to do, even if it's just a simple meditation, creating that space and creating that, you know, we call it in the esoteric, they call it the place that is not a place and a time that is not a time. It is in between the worlds. And that's basically what you're doing. You're creating this almost like a transdimensional sphere around you. And again, this leads back to our class a couple weeks ago of psychic protection. Once you start doing this on a regular basis, you can just visualize. And we did do that a little bit last week, where you just visualize the ball of light within you growing and just expanding around you. But you can also expand it to encompass an entire room or your home or anything to that effect. For today's purposes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you one for personal use, okay? And I would probably suggest starting with this until you get this down before you start, I don't know, start your own coven or something, you know, and start like bringing other people into your sacred space. You know, you want to make sure that you have this pretty much down pat. So today we're going to start drawing back on a little bit of some of the past energy work that we did. And what we're going to do is, if you remember the exercises that I taught you where you have the energy, okay, you ground yourself. And again, remember, this all builds up on all the classes we've done in the past. You do your focus. Maybe I'm going to start writing on the board. All right, so if we want to create a sacred space, if we're going to create a sacred space, the first thing that we want to do is we want to get into the right frame of mind. Okay, if I am doing a special working, let's say, for a personal healing or a long-distance healing or something like that, I'm going to cleanse my body first. And what I mean by that is I'm going to, of course, not have a full stomach, and I'll probably even take a ritual bath, something to, let me know what that dry out, something to calm my mind, and of course, you know, to cleanse the body, which also cleanses the spirit and the etheric body. You can also, and you see it all the time when you go to a public healing group or something like that, they'll smudge you with a sage wand or something like that. And of course, I taught you how to do the whole scraping technique, where you just kind of like feel the ecto goo coming off, the old icky stuff. So that is part one. Let's start with that. Number one would be to cleanse the body and mind. Number two is, of course, your focus. You want to focus. We talked about this, doing a couple breaths, bring yourself into the moment. So once you've done that, you're going to focus. Number three will be bringing that ball of energy, getting that ball of energy stirred up, sending it into the roots, kind of rooting, grounding, whatever you want to call it. We already did this before, so I'm just kind of refreshing your memory. Number four is going to be, of course, the connecting with the infinite or the divine, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to say connect to source. And I'm writing this down because I want you to write this down so you'll have notes to go back and look on and practice. Okay, and then once we've drawn the light and drawn the energy into our bellies, remember we brought it into our arms and we shot it out of our hands. And we actually shot it back into the earth because I didn't want it to go nowhere. Today we're going to direct that somewhere. But what you're going to do is you're going to get the energy to go from the belly up to your right shoulder or whatever your dominant arm is. Some people it's their left, some people it's their right. I don't know if you want to call it ambidextrous, but I'm a lefty, but my right arm is my dominant arm. So when I do energy work, I'm always directing with my right arm and receiving with my left arm. The same thing goes for anybody. Usually your dominant arm is your directing arm for your energy work, and your to receive is going to be your lesser, not lesser arm, but non-dominant arm, the assertive one. So we'll direct the energy from our arm. And some people, and it's all up to you, it's just a matter of personal choice. Some people will hold a crystal in their hand. In traditional northern or modern paganism, they use what's called the atame, which is like a dagger. Some people, like the druid path, will use a wand. Some people would use a staff. Something to literally like focus on and direct the stream of energy. I personally feel that's all preference, and it's very pretty, and it helps with the focus, and it is traditional and whatnot. But I firmly believe that we are in a place in our galaxy, in our time and space, where those things have kind of, I don't want to say gone by the wayside. They're traditional. They're wonderful. Kind of like a horse and carriage is compared to a bullet train. We're in a different place now, and I feel you have the power within you to just direct it out of your finger. You don't need all the fancy tools and crystals and that. If you want to amplify specific energy, and this is just a footnote, if, let's say, you want to create a space of unconditional love, okay, that you need, you're feeling disconnected, you're feeling like everyone's picking on you, or you're just feeling down and out and getting a little depressed, and you need to feel comfort and support, sure, I'll grab do I have one out? Yes, I do. Actually, this is from Machu Picchu. Thank you to my lovely co-host, Yvonne Weiss, for sending this. A rose quartz. I'll grab a rose quartz, and I'll use that, or I'll hold it in my hand, because it's little. It'd be cool if it was a long prism, and you could just, direct it. But I would hold it in my hand and direct the energy out of my finger. Okay? And that's for unconditional love, maybe if you're feeling like your heart chakra is closed and you need to immerse yourself in that energy, that would be a great way. Let me also say that the whole idea, the other idea besides creating sacred space, now I hope you guys can either blow up the screen or whatnot, or at least go back and review, but we create a magical circle to create sacred space, first of all. But it concentrates your energy in one spot. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're raising energy. You're keeping it contained in one particular area. So, like I just gave you the example of wanting to bask yourself in a vibration of pure, unconditional, divine love, it's great that you have that all contained, because that way, A, it's not so draining on you to raise that particular energy, but it's also concentrated in one area. The other thing, or the other use for this, is for vision questing. And I'm probably not going to be teaching vision questing, but I'll give you this much. When you're doing a vision quest, we all know it's usually involving some pretty heavy-duty psychedelic or something to that effect, where you're going to be ripped out of your body, literally. What this does is it protects the body. Again, for astral projection, out-of-body experiences, channeling, all of these things, it is used and utilized for all of these things. Okay, well, enough of that. Now we're going to start, I'm going to have to start drawing some diagrams for you. So you got all that. Number one is to cleanse. When you're getting ready to do a sacred space or a magical circle, cleanse the body and mind and the spirit, the etheric field. Focus your breath. Bring yourself to the now. Ground your energy. Remember the ball, shooting it into the earth. Connect through your crown chakra to the source. And then you're going to direct the energy out the arm. And if you missed it, you can rewind the video and take the notes again. Okay. Let's see. So, first thing you want to do, pick a spot. One, pick a spot. Where is this spot going to be? I think ideally it's in the woods. I think second best is in a park, a quiet park. Third best is in your yard if you have a quiet area, if you don't live in a noisy city. And then, of course, last but not least, of course, it's going to be your home somewhere, whether it be your living room or your bedroom. But you want to have... And I'm not going to go into the traditional stuff, like some books will say it should be 12 feet in diameter or 13 feet. Whatever's comfortable for you. I think that if I'm working for myself, I want to be as tall as I am, so in case I decide to lay down, I can lay down comfortably and not worry about cracking a hole or anything like that in the energetic field. So I would say go 6 inches more than your personal height. Okay, so you're going to pick a spot, figure out what size, and then you're going to do the steps that I told you. Now, remember, I'm doing a cross-section here. This is a cross-section. So let's say we've decided we're going to do 6 feet. Let's just say 6 feet. Here's one end of the 6 foot, and here's the other end of the 6 foot. Here am I, little stick figure with a big head. And when we're doing this, we want to visualize, okay? I know this sounds really weird, and it doesn't sound weird. It all sounds weird. What else is new? Eventually what we want to do is we want to be able to visualize something like this. Let's say that's the finger. Okay, so that's like an ugly little hand with a finger sticking out. Let's say the energy is going down to the ground, because your circle is going to be here, right? So the energy is going to go down to the ground, but at the same time, you kind of want to visualize an arc. All right? Why do you want to visualize an arc? Because what you're going to be doing as you go around the circle, you want to create that sphere. How are you going to create the sphere if you're not visualizing the energy going from the bottom and the top, not only out, but up and down? I know it's going to take practice. It doesn't come naturally for some people, and I'm sure it will. Maybe you'll get it the first time. Maybe it'll take some practice. Like I said, I'm not doing this for symbolic things I'm not trying to teach paganism. That's not what this is. This is energetic work for all people, light workers, crystals, all of us, starseeds, goddess people, whatever. priests and priestesses and druids and all of those. So we're visualizing and we're working with energy here. We're not talking about traditional dynamics here. The idea is to eventually create a dome around you. All right, so I don't have much camera room here, but I'll do my best to, I guess, show you. When I'm drawing the energy up, oh, I'm sorry. I have to step back for a second. You want to put a physical, did I spell that right? Yeah, physical border. Now that's where the traditional stuff comes in. I subscribe to the old Celtic method. I like to put something at the north, at the south, at the east, and at the west. If you want to, and you have enough, and you don't mind wasting, well, not wasting, but using the resources of salt, by all means, pour a circle of salt. I had a friend of mine that I worked with, and she had this thing for flowers. And she would spend $20 on bouquets of flowers and just rip up the flowers and create the circle like that because she wanted a pretty circle. That's great. You can use stones. You can just keep it natural. It can't be plastic. It can't be a measuring tape. We want it to be a natural resource. Now, as you get more involved in this, you're going to start realizing that certain materials have a certain vibration connected with them. So, like for us, we were doing this on South Beach in a loft, right, in the heart of the nightclub district. So we wanted to have nature. That's why we used flowers. We wanted to feel like we were in the woods. The same thing goes for whatever it is that you're doing. If you're doing one for love, for your love. Now, remember, we don't impose our will on anybody, and that includes anybody getting any bright ideas about love spells. You are not going to learn that here, and that's your karma, not mine. But to bring love into your life, the energy and the alignment and the vibration of love, you might want to use rose petals, something to that effect. So you're going to create a physical border with whatever materials you think that might be appropriate for you. Then you'll go ahead, stand in the middle. I don't have room here to show you, but you'll stand in the middle, you'll do the energy work, you'll collect the light as we have gone over in the past couple weeks, and then you'll direct it. And what you're going to do is you're going to direct it directly to the ground of the border that you're creating, okay? So if you've already marked out a 6-foot circle in your living room, and you've got little, ice statues all over the place, that'd be the other choice. I love the Isis image. You would connect and draw the energy connecting all the 4 quarters. Oh, you can't see. You get the idea. But at the same time, even though you're pointing and your mind and your energy is pointing and directed to that border, you also want to, I guess, you would want to just know and acknowledge that it's not only just going to the border, but it's going underneath and up top and meeting in the middle, at the apex at the bottom and the apex at the top. So eventually, once you've done and completed an entire circumference, you have now created a sphere of which you are now in the middle of. As well, remember, this is once you're in it, you're no longer in a place that is a place and a time that is a time. Some people notice time goes very, very quickly. I have done workings in a magical circle where it feels like 20 minutes and 5 hours has gone by. At the same time, I've done what I thought was a very convoluted, intricate, working, and 20 minutes went by. So again, it'll help you to detach yourself from the time and space conundrum, for lack of a better term. It also has a very clear, clean slate for you to work with. So you can kind of draw in what you want. And that is why we're going to be doing the elements, because what we would do then is once we've created the sacred space, then you start you're bringing out, out into the sphere, the elements of earth, air, fire, and water to create that balance. So you have like this whole organic, energetic working sphere that you are in the center of, and that you're willing to do a particular, working or whatnot that you need to do, or that you feel you want to do, or some people just want to sit there in silence and listen. Many of us, usually if I'm doing it, I'll do it like for a holiday or for an equinox or a solstice or something like that. And I usually just do it to, connect with my higher self. I will evoke maybe a god and a goddess to have that masculine, feminine balance. And we'll get into that, about evoking specific deities and or generalized concepts and archetypes. But first we're going to have to talk about archetypes and mythology before we get into that. So yes, that is going to be your circle. You can stay there as long as you want. Always remember to turn off your phone, turn off your beeper. Don't wear anything electronic in there. You don't want any electromagnetic poisoning while you're in there. Turn everything off in the house if you can. If you're inside, make sure that nothing really breaks it, because it kind of is like it reminds me of like a kid's bubble, like a little soap bubble. It will pop if the flow, the energy flow, the vibration is if you're distracted or anything like that. And then once you're done, you want to make sure to open it. So the way that I normally do it, and the way that I was taught to do it, and I'm just going to teach you what I know, is to go clockwise to create it. You're going with the sun, and then going counterclockwise to open it up. And I have to tell you something. You will probably, most likely, feel a big difference when you open that up. Many, many times once you're in that circle, you're going to feel the energy building up. And when you open it, it's like you get a cool breeze, because you don't realize how hot you have gotten. A lot of times your temperature will go up, or at least your body temperature feels like it's going up, just because there's so much energy being raised. And when you will open it, you'll be like, whoa, it's like a big cool breeze came in. But anyway, that's just an anecdote of the experiences that I've had, and a lot of the experiences that the people that I have worked with have had. One great thing to do is once you create it, once you've done and created your dome and your overdome and your underdome, is to kind of like feel it. I know we didn't get too much into this, and we will. Testing the strength of your energy stream, and especially when you're creating a circle, the walls that you've created, like the dome that I've created. I didn't really do it here, even though I kind of have, because I can feel something. You kind of feel where the vibration changes, and you kind of just want to test it and see how it's going. I've been in groups where it's literally like, it sounds different on the inside than it does on the outside. I mean, it's just really amazing. You're dealing with transdimensional work here, so it's you're going to be very excited as you start acknowledging on the material plane to have like contrast, like, wow, I can feel something here. There's something here, like you feel it with your own hands. So it's very exciting, and I'm not going to, I think I've given you a lot of information today, and we're going to kind of leave it at that for today. What I'd like you to do is, for those of you that are my personal students and are doing and keeping up with the homework, what I'd like you to do is write an essay. I know those darn essays. And this one is going to be as many paragraphs as you need, because there's no way you're going to be able to get this done in 5 paragraphs. I'd like you to teach someone who doesn't know how to do a circle, just like I told you just now. Go back and rewind this if you need to go back and get notes, but explain to them what a circle is. Make sure that this much is in your essay. What is a circle? What's it for? What is a circle? What's it for? How do you do it? And don't forget, how do you get rid of it? On that note, I will say that if you need to, after you've cleared the area, I mean, I'm assuming, and I'm doing this out of trust with you guys, that none of you will be doing anything negative with this stuff. So there's really no need to banish anything. But I will say that it's always good to kind of just like sweep it, you know, use a broom or a vacuum or literally a physical cleansing of the area. Clean it up, clean it up. You don't want any residual stuff that might get stale, really. But, you know, make sure that when you're done, you're done. And the time is over, the time is done, and you're done with the work, and you're back to your 3D life. All right? So, again, remember the essay. You can give it to me next week. I'll grade it, and I'll send it back to you. For the rest of you, you're welcome to submit an essay. And if we like it, we will go ahead and post it on our website, and we will feature it and send it out to the whole world. We've had a couple of you out there who really are doing a great job. And I've got to tell you that the students that are following this, my personal students, you're kicking butt. I'm like, wow. Especially the last Earth essay from one of our people here. She did a beautiful, beautiful job. So this is really, I'm really enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying this series as much as I am. And you know, keep up the great work. And we'll keep doing it. You know, we'll just keep doing this, and you'll see. Eventually, it all starts to fit into place. You're going to be like, why did he bring that up, and why did he do that, or why he only taught half of that? You know, there's a reason. It all falls into like a little pieces of the puzzle coming together. And if anything, I hope that makes your life more fulfilling and you feel more empowered. Okay? This is Bernard saying goodbye. Thank you. I'm going to pass the virtual basket. Please go to the GIC and offer a couple bucks, $2, $3, $4, $5, whatever. If you have it, I would appreciate it. These are free. And I also want to just say ever so quickly, I got a new hairdresser. And I want to do a shout out to my friends also. I'm going blank here. Sorry, Ashley Hall. Sorry, Ashley. Who works at, I can't remember. It's in Vinton, Virginia. But I will post it in the description. It's a cute name. It's a sweet name. It goes with our light work here that we do. But she did it. This is my first time getting my hair done since I was a hairstylist. So I found a Paul Mitchell hairstylist. So I'm really happy, and I'm loving it. Feels cool. Thanks, everybody. I will see you next week. I love you very, very much, and you know, practice. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Oh, before I forget, practice, and that means not just the essay. Journal this. Do this at least 3 times this week. Try it out 3 times. Journal it. How's the weather? What day is it? What time is it? What are my results? Okay? So don't forget to journal your exercise and your experiences. Have a great week, everyone. I'll see you next week.